today I'm looking at the suspension on this Citroen Relay 2011, and I'm thinking replacing the anti-roll bar bushes. The anti-roll bar on this is pretty rusty, so I'm going to remove this and clean it up and paint it. First of all, you'll need to jack the vehicle up, put it on axle stands and lift both front wheels off the ground.
The two bolts here hold the anti-roll bar bracket to the subframe, and then there's a nut here on the anti-roll bar and the other one underneath the suspension arm. Tried to wire brush them as best I can, but they're very awkward to get to. And then I spray a bit of penetrating oil onto the bolts. So I'm going to undo the nuts on the anti-roll bar link. They're both 19mm. It is easy if you turn the steering to give you a little bit more room to get your socket in when you're getting the top nut. The bolts for the anti-roll bar bracket are accessed through two holes in the subframe. They're 16mm. And then I repeat the procedure on the second side. So I've managed to get the anti-roll bar off. It was a bit of a struggle. You do need to remove these first. If you don't, you can't get it out, and they appear to be peened over here, so they're not easy to get off. So I ended up having to get a big screwdriver in and basically prise them apart, but they need to come off first. Once you've got them off, then the bar comes out and you have to tilt it downwards to get the other side out from underneath the subframe. I've managed to get the anti-roll bar off, and as you can see it's quite rusty in places, so I'm going to clean it up and repaint it. And I've also got this drop link which is stuck, so that's going to have to come off. So I'm thinking I'm going to saw through it with the angle grinder, take the outer casing off, possibly remove the rubber then, and then probably have to slit the internal bush to try to get that off. So my tool of choice is now going to have to be the angle grinder, I think. I'm going to cut through there and there and split the drop link in half. So that's the ending item, cut in half. Now I need to get the rubber off, so I'm going to cut through that with the hacksaw. And then we're left with the inner bush. So I'm going to try and warm it up first, see if I can get it off, and if I can't, then I'm going to cut it with the angle grinder. So I'm going to try and put a puller on and a bit more heat and see if that does anything. Okay, no success with the heat and puller, so now I'll cut through it with the angle grinder. So I've put a cut in it with the angle grinder. It's now moving a little bit, so hopefully I can get that off.
So it's eventually come off. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to clean all this rust up. While it's off, I might as well clean it up, repaint it, and then obviously replace all the bushes and links. So I'm going to use a wire brush on the angle grinder to clean all that off. So here's that anti-roll bar. Give it a coat of paint, cleaned it up. It's important that it goes back in the right way up, because we could put this in upside down. I have the new links, brackets, bushes. I managed to get the anti-roll bar back in. According to the Citroen manual, to take this anti-roll bar out, you need to disconnect the bottom ball joint and move the suspension strut forwards. But I managed to do it without that, but what I did have to do was to jack it under here and lift the suspension about 3 inches. What I've also noticed with these, they're not original parts, is the new bolts that fasten this bracket on shorter. That has presented me with quite a bit of a problem. As the bushes are so hard, I can't squash it down enough to get the bolts in, and the fact that it's quite an awkward position. However, I have got a solution. If I still had 4 of the old bolts, I would just put them back, but unfortunately 2 of them sheared off when I was trying to undo them, so I've only got 2. So what I'm going to do is put the old bolt back first, then get a pair of thin nose small grips, put that on the bracket, clamp it, take the old bolt out, put the new bolt in. That seems to work. Right, I managed to get the other bracket on the other side. I'm going to put a bit of anti-seize grease on the ends of the anti-roll bar. Hopefully it does need to come off again, it will not be seized up like the last one. In position, I'm going to put the other side in. The link is fitted successfully, I think. I'm just going to replace those nuts with nylock nuts, but I have to order some because I haven't got any. So now I can bolt it up, tighten it, and tighten them up 50 Newton meters, then put it back on its suspension and tighten that 58 6 Newton meters.